We the People, the Government and Politics of the United States of America. An Introduction. The Big Picture, an Overview.
The capital of the U.S. is the city of Washington.
The city of Washington is not in a state. It is called the Federal District of Columbia.
The capital of the U.S. is known as Washington, D.C. There are 3 levels of government in the U.S.
The federal or national government,
The state governments,
local, county, and municipal governments. The federal government has 3 branches:
legislative, the Congress,
executive, the presidency,
judicial, the judiciary.
The legislative branch works in the Capitol Building and many other offices on Capitol Hill in D.C.
The heads of the executive branch are the president and his cabinet. Their offices are in the White House.
The top court of the judicial branch is the Supreme Court in D.C. There are many federal, state, and local courts around the country.
The U.S. Constitution is the basic law that sets and limits the powers of the federal national government and the way it works with each state and internationally.
The first 10 amendments to the U.S. Constitution are called the Bill of Rights.
Every state has its own constitution. The legislative branch is the U.S. Congress. It has 2 houses.
The Senate, 100 senators.
The House of Representatives, 435 representatives.
The executive branch, president, vice president, the president's cabinet, the heads, secretaries, of 15 executive departments, the heads of 7 government agencies, the president's chief of staff.
Executive departments: State, Treasury, Defense, Justice, Interior, Agriculture, Commerce, Labor, Health and Human Services, Housing and Urban Development, Transportation, Energy, Education, Veterans Affairs, Homeland Security.
Agencies: U.S. Trade Representative, National Intelligence, Mission to the United Nations, Office of Management and Budget, OMB, Central Intelligence Agency, CIA, Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, Small Business Administration, SBA.
The balance of power. Under the U.S. Constitution, the most powerful branch of the federal government is the legislative branch. It makes the laws and provides the money that the executive branch uses to run the country. The president, the head of the executive branch, appoints the Supreme Court and other federal judges and senior officers in the executive branch, but these appointments must be approved by the Senate. The judges and officers, including the president, can be impeached and removed by Congress. The president may be the most powerful officer of the government, but his power is limited and balanced by the powers of the legislative and judicial branches. Under the Constitution, each of the 3 levels and branches of government checks, limits, and balances the powers of the others.
There are 2 major political parties:
Republican Party, GOP, Elephant,
Democratic Party, donkey.
There are many important but smaller political parties, often with special interests. Elections.
General presidential elections are held every 4 years: 2020, 2024, 2028, 2032, 2036. Senators are elected for 6-year terms. 1/3 are elected every 2 years. All representatives are elected every 2 years. Before every election, the parties in each state hold primary elections to select candidates.
Unit 1. The Beginnings. Key words. To declare. Inevitable. Hostility. Revolution. Eventual. Federal. To unify. Convention. Delegate. To establish. To amend. Bill.
The Beginnings. For 125 years, from 1607 to 1732, Great Britain established colonies along the Atlantic coast of North America, including eastern Canada. British America was part of Great Britain until July 4, 1776. On that day, the British American colonists in 13 colonies declared themselves independent as the United States of America. The Canadians remained loyal to the King. The separation was almost inevitable. Taxation without representation was an issue. The Atlantic Ocean separated the government in London from the colonies on the North American continent. Life in North America was different from life on the British Islands, and growing cultural differences also contributed to hostility toward the mother country. In fact, by 1775, hostility had already become violent. Actually, the American Revolutionary War had begun. In April of 1775, an American militia fired the shot heard round the world at the Battle of Lexington and Concord. After 5 long years, the British were defeated in a major battle at Yorktown, Virginia, in 1781. Eventually, the Paris Peace Treaty of 1783 was signed, and the United States of America was a nation. The 13 original colonies had managed to work together throughout the war with a federal government based on a document called the Articles of Confederation. But with the war over, the leaders of the states began to realize that a stronger, unifying federal government was needed. The 13 new states agreed to meet in a convention in Philadelphia to create a more effective central government. They met from May to September in 1787. There were many disagreements among the 55 delegates from 13 states. However, after 5 months, the Constitutional Convention created a constitution that is still the basic law of the land. The convention also established a way to amend the Constitution. In fact, at the conclusion of the convention, there was growing pressure to include as part of the Constitution rights for the individual citizens. At the first meeting of Congress, James Madison presented a Bill of Rights that eventually became the first 10 amendments to the Constitution.